Hello friends, in this video I am going to talk about the metal chelating activity. So how do we estimate the percentage of metal chelating activity of a plant extract? So that is the principal protocol and procedure that I am going to discuss today with you people. So before going into the actual protocol, let me say what is this chelation? What is metal chelation and how does it help in plants and why do we have to estimate it? Let us understand the theoretical concept before moving into the principle. So before moving into the actual protocol. Now, what is this metal chelation? Chele means in Greek it is called as claw. So what is the function of a claw? The function of a claw is to get hold onto some substrate like this. So claw in case of birds, why is a claw used? Claw is used just to catch hold of the branch. So for support this claw is used. Whenever a bird is going to land, it is going to hold into a branch, it is going to hold to a twig and then it is going to land down. So claw is nothing but it is an organ for attachment. So what is this chelation? Chelation also generally means attachment, bonding. So this is the meaning of chelation. What is metal chelation? So there are so many smaller atoms, ions and molecules that gets attached to the metal atoms like ferrous or copper, like iron and copper. So this process is called as metal chelation. There are other atoms, it may be ions or it may be molecules. They form a complex bond. Like you would have studied in 12th chemistry and 11th chemistry, coordinate system, coordinate bonding, complex compounds, all those things you would have studied. It is similar to that. So many atoms, ions and molecules, they come and form a bond with iron and copper, especially iron and copper, such metal atoms. And this is called as metal chelation. Now coming into the plant system. Why does this metal chelation occurs in case of plant system and how does it occur? What is the application of this metal chelation in case of plants? So in plants, we know plants mainly produces two types of metabolites, primary metabolites and secondary metabolites. Primary metabolites are proteins, carbohydrates, fats, while the secondary metabolites are alkaloids, tannin, phenolic compounds, flavonoids. So many compounds are there. Out of there they have some antioxidant molecules also. So these antioxidant molecules and these secondary metabolites, they go and bind to the iron atom or copper atom. And it forms a chelation. It forms a complex coordinate bond and it forms a complex molecule. So this is called as metal chelation activity in case of plants. Now why does this occur? There are many reasons and many theoretical concepts behind this. Only one or two reasons I would like to give you now. So we all know that iron, when it is exposed to atmospheric oxygen and humidity, what happens? Oxidation occurs and iron gets rusted. So we know the rusting process of iron. Same thing happens in the plant system also. Those iron molecules that are present or some copper or any metal atom that are present in the plant, plants require major elements, macro elements and minor elements. You would have studied in nutrition chapter, they requires lots of elements which are called as macro elements and micro elements. So iron is one such macro element. So iron, when it gets exposed to a humidity or whether it gets exposed to oxygen, what happens? It gets reduced. So this is the reason what happens. There are lots of antioxidant molecules and lot of secondary metabolites that come and bind to the iron atom and they preserve this iron atom so that plants can utilize them. That is one concept. So it helps for the plants to easy absorption and it also maintains the stability of the compound. So metal chelation activity occurs. And one more indirect method of this metal chelation, more the antioxidant, what will happen? More antioxidant will come and bind to these metal atoms. So if you want to know how much antioxidants are present, whether more antioxidants are present or less antioxidants are present, this assay will help us to understand what is the antioxidant concentration in our plants. If there are more antioxidants, there will be more chelation will occur. If there are less antioxidants, less chelation will occur. So this is also an indirect method to say that whether the secondary metabolites are produced in higher concentration or whether they are produced in lower concentration. So this is all the theoretical concepts that I wanted to give you before starting with today's actual protocol. So this is called, we are going to do metal chelation activity. So our main concentration is on ferrous ion. So we are not going to do a copper ion. So metal chelation activity on ferrous ion. Now what are the reagents? This is a very simple protocol. If you understand the principle and the logic behind it, you just need two main reagents. One is ferric chloride, FeCl2. So here I would like to say that if you are referring many papers, many paper gives you different types. So you can use ferrous sulfate, ferric chloride, ferrous chloride. You can use various, you just need iron over there. So you can use any iron salt. So we have ferrous sulfate, ferric chloride, ferrous chloride, most of the papers was using ferrous chloride, FeCl2. So I have taken FeCl2 and usually FeCl2 will be dark green in color and when it is exposed to light, what happens? It becomes yellowish, brownish solution like this, but still I tried, it is giving results, so you can use this also. If you are having an unopened greenish ferrous chloride, green color ferrous chloride, you can use that. Always fresher chemicals should be used. So this is the first reagent that you require, and this is required in 2 millimolar. So ferrous chloride, FeCl2, molecular weight will be given in the box that you are buying. So based on that, you can calculate, you need 2 millimolar. This is the first reagent. And one more reagent is called as ferrozene. Ferrozene is also another compound that is also crystal solid. That is, both of these are soluble in water. And this ferrozene, you need it in 5 millimolar. And always store this in cold room. Ferrozene I'm talking about. Ferrichloride can be stored in normal room temperature. Keep it in dark. So ferrozene, you have to prepare 5 millimolar of ferrozene solution. So these two are the only reagents that is required for today's protocol. Chelating, metal chelating activity on ferrous iron. Now let me give you what is the principle that occurs. Now, whenever this ferric chloride and ferrozene comes in contact, chelation occurs and it forms a complex compound and it gives immediately reddish pink color. Such beautiful pinkish red color will be seen as soon as you add ferric chloride and ferrozene. Immediately this both will react. I said you right, this is like claw. So this ferrozene comes and chelates the iron atom. So this is the iron atom, this is my ferrozene. This comes and immediately chelates it, forms a bond, and it forms a complex organ coordination compound you would have studied. So it forms a complex coordinate compound, and that it gives a pinkish color absorbance. So that is the normal reaction that occurs in this both. Now, whenever I am adding this plant extract to this, what will happen? Plant extract will be having certain antioxidants, secondary metabolites, all those things will be there. So they will come and bind this iron atom. These antioxidants and these secondary metabolites, they come and bind to my iron atom, and this ferrozene now cannot come and form a complex compound. So it forms an inhibition. These plant compounds forms an inhibition. They do not allow this ferrozene to come and form a compound. They do not allow this ferrozene to react with ferric chloride. As a result, what happens? The reaction doesn't occur and the pinkish color will not be formed. So as a result, the pinkish color will not be formed. So more the reddish color, more the pinkish color, what does it mean? That means there are no antioxidants or there are no metabolites that are inhibiting this formation, that are blocking this formation. So that they have very less antioxidants. So there are nobody to come and stop this attraction. So if a plant is having more antioxidants and if a plant is having more secondary metabolites, so what that does mean? They will not allow this formation to occur. They will not allow this formation to occur. So now let us see how does this plant extract. So whenever I add this plant extract into this reaction, this plant extract, whatever the antioxidants are there, whatever the secondary metabolites are there, they will come and readily bind to my ferric chloride, iron atom. They will immediately come and capture my iron atom and they will not allow this ferrozene to interact. As a result, this ferrozene will not interact and it doesn't give the reddish color. So the reddish color will not be produced. So the lesser the reddish color or lesser the pinkish color, more antioxidants are there, more secondary metabolites are there. That is the reason, because my plants are having more metabolites and more antioxidants, they come and cover this iron molecule and they do not allow this interaction to occur. Ferrozene will not interact with ferric chloride if there is more antioxidants, more secondary metabolites, and you will get light reddish color, light pinkish color, or the pinkish color only will not be formed. That is one condition. If my plants are having less antioxidants, if my plants are having less secondary metabolites, then what will be having? Just one metabolite will be here and there. So ferrozene can come and interact with this ferric chloride and it will give me reddish color, it will give me pinkish color. So this is a simple logic you have to understand. So lesser the intensity of the color, more is the antioxidant activity or more is the metal chelation activity. So the same formula, this is just a blind example that I am giving you. You have to actually calculate the formula. So this is just, if you see a pent of tube or if you see a test tube, if it is having less intense color, if the pinkish color is less intense, that indicates that it has more antioxidants and it is having more metal chelation activity. So is this clear? Now let me come to the formula. How do we calculate this? So if you watched my DPPH activity video, there at the end I have given a formula. Absorbance of control minus absorbance of sample divided by absorbance of sample into 100, because we are going to express it in terms of percentage. So here I am not going to explain the formula, I am not going to show any calculation, I am just going to show you the procedure. So you watch that video, I will give the link in the description. Same formula you are going to apply. Absorption of control minus absorption of sample divided by absorbance of sample into 100. That gives me the percentage of the metal chelation activity. That is one thing. How to calculate? Please do watch that video. And I have taken methanol extracts. So you can prepare plant extracts using various solvent. So again, I have made another video. I will give the link in the description. How do you prepare this plant extracts using many solvents like methanol, ethanol, chloroform, petroleum ether, all those things I have said in this video. I will give the link in the description. If you don't know how to prepare plant extracts, you can watch that video also. So these are the two things that I wanted to say you. Now we will go to the protocol. Protocol is very simple. We are going to take the plant extracts in different concentration. You can take 20 microliter, 40 microliter, 60 microliter, 100 microliter, or you can take 2 microliter, 4 microliter, 6 microliter, 8 microliter, and 10 microliter. It depends upon the concentration of your stock. My stock is having a concentration of 10 mg per ml. It is highly concentrated. So I am going to take 2 microliter, 4 microliter, 6 microliter, 8 microliter, and 10 microliter I am going to take. And just to show you once, I am going to take 50 microliter also once I am going to show you. This is one thing. And I said you absorbance of control. So what is this control? Control is without plant extract, just the solvent, that is methanol and ferric chloride and ferrozene. So I know there will be so much confusions. I will just prepare and show you, then you will understand. Now first thing is let me show you control. So yes, this is my control. So control, everything we are going to make it up to 1 ml. So whatever solvent I have used, if I used methanol, I am going to take methanol only to make it up, and my blank also will be only methanol. If I have used chloroform or ethanol as my solvent, and so whatever I am going to use here also will be ethanol or water, whatever I am using, whatever solvent I am using to prepare my plant sample, same solvent I am going to use it to make up. Now control will be, since I have used methanolic plant extracts, my solvent will be methanol. So this is the methanol over here. So it is very simple protocol. So I am just going to take 1 ml of methanol for my control. So 1 ml of my methanol I am going to pipette out. Okay, now I am going to add ferric chloride. So you are going to add 50 microliter of ferric chloride. I prepared already ferric chloride I have kept. I have shown you that. So ferric chloride is already prepared. I am going to add 50 microliter of ferric chloride I am going to add. So now I am adding 50 microliter of ferric chloride to my methanol, that is my control. 50 microliter of 2 millimolar. So the concentration is 2 millimolar ferrous chloride FeCl2 and volume is 50 microliter. To this I am going to add 200 microliter of ferrozene. So you can see, I will show you, immediately as soon as I add ferrozene, pinkish colored compound will be formed. So as soon as I add 200 microliter of this ferrozene, pinkish colored compound will be formed. 200 microliter of 5 millimolar ferrozene. Yes. So you can see over here, this is the beauty of this experiment. I am adding 200 microliter of ferrozene. As soon as I add this, you can find how beautifully the pinkish colored substance are formed. So can you see this? So this is the color that is going to, I got it in control, and I'm going to give a quick mix. I'm going to give using this vortex, and then I'm going to incubate it at 10 minutes for room temperature itself. I'm going to incubate it. So we're going to give a quick spin. Yes. So after giving a quick spin, now I'm going to leave this in room temperature. I'm going to incubate it in room temperature for 10 minutes. And then we are going to take the absorbance at 562 nanometer. Yes. So we're going to take the absorbance at 562 nanometer, and using that absorbance, we will calculate, like I said I mentioned, we will going to calculate the metal chelation activity. So this is my control, and blank will be just methanol. Now let me take for plant extracts. So I have different concentrations of plant extracts I'm going to do. 2 microliter, 4 microliter, 6 microliter, 8 microliter, 10 microliter, and one I'm going to show you with 50 microliter I'm going to show you. So let me take one plant sample, and we are going to pipette out in different concentration so that we will come to know which concentration is having the highest metal chelating activity. So now I am pipetting 2 microliter of plant extract. Then 4. Similarly, various concentrations you can do, or you can keep one concentration as standard if you are having more samples. 4 microliter and 6 microliter. And 8 microliter and 10 microliter similarly. And for one, I'm going to do higher concentration, 50 microliter, for you people to show what is the difference if you take higher concentration. So for 1, I'm going to do 50 microliter concentration. Yes, so I pipetted the plant extracts. Now I'm going to add methanol accordingly to make it up to 1 ml. So I have taken 50 microliter of plant extract. Here I'm going to add 950 microliter of methanol I'm going to add. So here I have taken 2 microliter of plant extract. So I'm going to add 998 microliter of methanol. Similarly, I'm going to add methanol and I'm going to make it up. 998 is the first one. So I'm going to add methanol to make it up to 1 ml. So this is 998. So next I've taken 4 microliter, so it becomes 996. 996. Similarly 994. 992, and last one is 50 microliter. So there I will be adding 850. I'm sorry, 950. So there I'll be adding So in the last one, I'm going to add 950 microliter. Yes. Now, after adding this, again, we are going to give a quick spin. So after giving a quick spin for all these things, I'm going to add same 50 microliter of ferrous chloride. So I'm going to add 50 microliter of ferrous chloride for all these things. Yes. And then again give a quick spin for all these things. Yes. Now the last reagent is the ferrozene. Now I am going to add 200 microliter of ferrozene. So as soon as I add this ferrozene, you will get the pinkish color. So based on the antioxidants that are present, based on the secondary metabolites that are present, the pinkish color will show. So this is 2 microliter. 2 microliter in the sense plant extract is very, very less. So I will get as much as control, I will get pinkish color. So you can see it will be similar to that of my control because my plants are very less. Plant extract is very less. This is my 4 microliter. Here also I am getting same intensity, you can find it. But intensity has reduced a bit. And this is my 6 microliter. You can find how light pinkish as I have got. And this is my 8 microliter. You can find how light pinkish is. I'll just show you to compare. And this is my 50 microliter. So for 50 microliter, it has lots and lots of plant extract. So you can find here there is no pinkish color as formed at all. So I hope you're understanding the principle behind this. In this 50 microliter, there is no pinkish color. Maybe after 10 minutes, very light tinge of pinkish color will develop because 50 microliter is high concentration and all these antioxidants are not, it is inhibiting the compound complex formation. So it is not allowing my ferrous and ferrozene to react. That is why I have not got pinkish color. But here you can see in 4 microliter and 8 microliter, plant extract is very less. It is not very high as 50 microliter. So it has not inhibited that much. But this is in fact lighter than my control. In control, there is no plant extract at all. But here, there is little bit of plant extract. That is why the intensity is less. So this is now, after this, we are going to incubate it at room temperature for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to take the absorbance of 562 nanometer. And then I'm going to just calculate using the formula absorbance of control minus absorbance of sample divided by absorbance of sample into 100. That will give me the percentage of my metal chelating activity. If you have seen my DPPH or DPPH, there a video I would have mentioned that we take something called as positive control to compare. Here you can take as EDTA as positive control to compare whether a plant is having more metal chelating activity or EDTA is having. So this is all is about today's protocol, metal chelation activity. It is a very simple protocol. I will just say you briefly. We will take plant extracts in different concentration. We will make it up to 1 ml or 2 ml or 3 ml depending upon which method I'm going to use. Microplate methods are not made it up into higher volume. You can make it up to 1 ml or 2 ml using that solvent that you use for plant extract preparation. Like I used methanol, using methanol, make it up to 1 ml. Then you're going to add 50 microliter of FeCl2. If you have FeCl3 in your lab, you can go with that, but still the pinkish color will be formed, but it will take some more time, and you need to change the concentration also. So I have added 50 microliter of 2 millimolar ferrous chloride FeCl2, given a quick mix. Then I have added 200 microliter of 5 millimolar ferrozine. Immediately pinkish color will be formed. Give a thorough mix. Incubate it for 2 minutes. Incubate it for 10 minutes at room temperature. After thorough vigorous shaking, and then take the absorbance at 562 nanometer. And using the formula, you can calculate the percentage of metal chelation. So this is today's protocol. So I hope you would have enjoyed this as much as I did, seeing those beautiful color formation and all those things. So if you like this video, do give a thumbs up and share it with your friends and other people and other groups. And thank you for your patience watching. Do subscribe to this channel. Thank you.